If you're listening to this right now, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to focus. You don't need to understand every word. You're allowed to just be here. This is not a message about fixing yourself. It's not about becoming stronger, more productive, or more positive. Tonight, this is simply a place where nothing is required of you. If you feel tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix, you're not imagining it. There is a kind of exhaustion that comes from being strong for too long, from holding yourself together when no one really sees how much it costs you. Maybe you still function. You go to work, you answer messages, you do what's expected, and yet something inside you feels heavy, quiet, drained. This doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've been carrying more than you were meant to carry alone. For this moment, you don't need to hold anything together. You're allowed to rest here. Sometimes exhaustion doesn't come from doing too much. Sometimes it comes from caring deeply for a very long time, from trying to be understanding, from giving chances, from staying patient when it would have been easier to walk away. You may not even remember when you started feeling this tired. It didn't arrive suddenly. It built itself quietly. Little by little, your energy went into surviving the day instead of living it. You adapted. You learned how to keep going, how to show up, how to stay composed, even when something inside you felt distant. And because you adapted so well, no one noticed how heavy it became. You might have told yourself that others have it worse, that you shouldn't complain, that you just need to try harder. But exhaustion doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It only becomes quieter. There is a difference between being lazy and being depleted, between avoiding life and needing rest. If your confidence feels weaker lately, that doesn't mean it's gone. Confidence often fades when the nervous system has been overwhelmed for too long. You didn't lose yourself. You became tired of fighting silently. Right now, nothing bad will happen if you stop pushing for a moment. Your worth does not depend on how much you produce. It does not depend on how strong you appear. It does not depend on how well you hold everything together. You matter even in rest. You don't need to decide anything tonight. You don't need to plan. You don't need to be ready. Just continue listening in the background at your own pace. You don't need to make sense of everything you're feeling. Some tiredness doesn't come with clear reasons. It lives deeper than words. It lives in the body, in the way your shoulders stay tense even when you're resting, in the way your mind keeps scanning for what needs to be handled next. That kind of exhaustion doesn't respond to motivation. It responds to permission. Permission to stop performing. Permission to stop explaining. Permission to stop holding everything together. You have been in survival mode longer than you realize. Not because something dramatic happened, but because there was never a real pause. You learned to keep going even when you were depleted. You learned to quiet your needs so things could keep functioning. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. The mind can stay strong for a long time. The nervous system cannot. Eventually, it asks for rest. Not loudly, not clearly, but through fatigue, through numbness, through a loss of motivation that doesn't respond to encouragement. If you've been feeling disconnected from who you used to be, that doesn't mean you changed in the wrong way. It means your system has been protecting you. Sometimes protection looks like slowing down. Sometimes it looks like pulling inward. Sometimes it looks like losing interest in things that once mattered. That's not failure. That's conservation. You are not lazy. You are not ungrateful. You are not falling behind. You are responding to prolonged pressure, pressure to cope, pressure to adapt, pressure to be okay without support. No one teaches us how to rest when there is no crisis. No one tells us it's allowed to stop before we break. So the body finds its own way. It quiets you. It slows you. It makes everything feel heavy so you'll finally listen. And tonight, you don't have to argue with that. You don't have to push through it. You don't have to override it. You don't have to correct it. You can simply let it be. If your breathing feels shallow, that's okay. If your body feels restless, that's okay. If your mind drifts in and out, that's okay too. Nothing here requires effort. You don't need to relax. You don't need to calm down. You don't need to do anything correctly. Just being here is enough. The part of you that's been holding everything together can rest now, even if it doesn't fully believe that yet. It doesn't need to trust this moment. It only needs to stop working. There is nothing waiting for you on the other side of this listening. No decision, no demand, no expectation, just space. And in that space, your system can begin to loosen on its own, slowly, naturally, without force. You don't need to notice it happening. You don't need to track progress. You don't need to stay awake for it. Rest doesn't need witnesses. You've already done enough for today, for this moment, for now. As this continues, you don't need to listen closely anymore. The words don't need your attention. They can simply exist in the background, like a quiet presence keeping you company. There is nothing you need to remember from this, nothing you need to carry forward, nothing you need to change tonight. If your thoughts slow down, that's okay. If they wander, that's okay too. If sleep comes quietly, that's okay. You are allowed to rest without effort. You are allowed to stop without explanation. You are allowed to let go without fixing anything. There is no urgency here, no next step, no expectation, just this moment and the permission to release the day. You don't need to hold yourself together any longer tonight. You don't need to stay alert. You don't need to be ready. Everything can wait. For now, let the weight of the day fade into the background. You are safe to rest. You are safe to pause. You are safe to do nothing at all. Nothing else is required.